This edition of the Ridley Report is brought to you by Can you name something you've done from your position to reduce expenditures for the city at some point? You work for the city, correct?
Yeah.
Can you name something you've done since you worked for the city to help reduce expenditures?
I've lost 10 people.
Okay, that's a start. That'll work. Do you work for the city?
Sure.
Question for you. Can you name something you've done from your position of power to help reduce the expenditures that taxpayers have to underwrite? Question for you. You work for the city, correct? What is something you've done to help reduce taxpayer expenditures since you've worked there? Can you name even one thing? Resistance against the waste and torture of the central government and against its lapdogs, state and local. One gulag thinks it's God, unaccountable with lying and spying on all.
Granted to Monadnock Economic Development Corporation and/or Cypress Street Development LLC, Keene, and to cover soft costs related to the expansion of the building that Cypress Street Development LLC owns and leases. CDBG funds are awarded on a competitive basis in New Hampshire and may be used for housing,
for economic development, public facility, and housing rehabilitation projects that primarily benefit low and moderate income persons. The City of Keene is eligible to receive up to
Specificity to the project. What we're proposing to do is expand the existing.
You with the Planning Commission? Question for you. I think we've already got, if I count correctly, about 5 layers of government above us, not including the Planning Commissions. Why do we need the Planning Commission, which seems to be kind of a 6th sometimes?
You mean in this process?
Not necessarily in this process, but just in the way we live in the state.
I'm not sure.
How much does it cost us to fund? I'm not sure.
Hey, Rebecca, you don't have to be in it. You don't have to.
Hi.
Thanks.
You gonna assault me too? Or just block the camera?
Let's leave. Yeah, unless you want to be subjected to this.
It's just a question. You're on the public dime, aren't you? Shouldn't you be answering taxpayer questions instead of putting your hand in front of the camera?
Egypt people is very nice, and if the Egypt people take my advice, they will strike down the one-party state they fear, but that had better not happen here, 'cause we know that everything would fall apart if the city of Keene, New Hampshire starts to listen to the malcontents at Free Keene and sort of kind of cut spending, 'cause the government needs some expensive things like the wasteful 34 West building and the boondoggle jail where we put hat wearers and other people who could be considered swearers. Freaking.com